was 22, fresh out of college, and eager to prove myself in my first marketing job. Landing a role with a respectable company so soon after graduation felt like winning the lottery. My team was supportive, the projects were exciting, and I genuinely loved coming to work every day. For the first 3 months, I thrived. I designed creative campaigns that boosted engagement, streamlined social media workflows, and even landed a major client. My manager at the time praised me frequently and often mentioned how promising my future was. I was on top of the world. Then Karen arrived. Karen wasn't just any manager. She was the manager. The one you'd see in online memes about horrible bosses. She had the short, angled haircut, the clipped, condescending tone, the ability to make everyone in a room feel like they were walking on eggshells. And for reasons I couldn't understand, she had a laser focus on me from day one. At first, it was subtle. She would dismiss my ideas in meetings, cutting me off mid-sentence with, "Let's stick to what works, okay?" She'd scrutinize my reports down to the smallest detail, often calling me back to redo them for reasons that didn't make sense. My coworkers started noticing too, shooting me sympathetic looks when Karen was particularly harsh. One day, I overheard Karen chatting with her friend in the break room. "Well, I'll get her out eventually," she whispered. "They'll have no choice but to bring you in." I froze. It all made sense. Karen wasn't just being difficult. She wanted me gone. She was trying to force me to quit so she could bring in her friend to replace me. That realization sparked two emotions: anger and determination. I wasn't about to let her win. Karen's tactics escalated. She began assigning me tasks that had nothing to do with my role. Marketing campaigns? Forget it. Instead, I was told to reorganize the supply closet. Karen handed me a clipboard and said, "I need a full inventory of every pen, stapler, and box of paper clips. Oh, and make it neat while you're at it. Track stapler usage. We're running through office supplies too quickly," she said, her tone dripping with faux urgency. "I need you to figure out where the staplers are going. Create a report, charts, graphs, the whole 9 yards. Document coffee habits. We need to know how much coffee employees are drinking. Track who uses the machine and when. We don't want waste." I could feel the heat rising in my cheeks every time she dumped another absurd task on my desk. But I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of seeing me crack. If Karen wanted busy work, I'd give her busy work, but on my terms. I started with the supply closet. Karen probably expected me to spend a few hours mindlessly moving boxes around. Instead, I turned it into a full-scale project. I created a digital inventory system, complete with barcodes and a searchable database. I laminated color-coded labels for every shelf and drawer, turning the closet into a showcase of organizational excellence. By the time I was done, it looked like something out of a Pinterest board. Karen's reaction? "You didn't need to go that far," she said, barely hiding her irritation. Next came the stapler report. I treated it like a thesis project. I dug through 5 years of purchase orders, conducted anonymous employee surveys, and cross-referenced usage trends with department sizes. My final report was a 20-slide PowerPoint titled, "Stapler Trends, an Analysis of Office Efficiency and Resource Allocation." It included bar graphs, pie charts, and even a heat map showing peak stapler usage times. When Karen asked me to present it in a meeting, I took the opportunity to go full dramatic. "As you can see," I said, gesturing to a graph, "we experienced a 12% increase in stapler usage last spring, correlating with a rise in new hires. I recommend implementing a stapler sharing program to reduce costs." The room burst into laughter, and even the higher-ups seemed amused. Karen was not. But the coffee assignment? That was the pièce de résistance. I spent a week turning the office into a caffeine research lab. I observed who visited the coffee machine and at what times. I sent out anonymous surveys asking about coffee preferences and energy levels throughout the day. I created a bound report titled, "Caffeination Nation, Optimizing Productivity Through Coffee Consumption." The report included graphs correlating coffee intake with productivity spikes, recommendations for peak brewing times, a proposal to install a second coffee machine to reduce wait times during the morning rush, I CC'd every executive in the company, framing it as a way to boost employee satisfaction. Karen's face when she saw the email was worth every second I spent on that report. Karen's plans started crumbling when the higher-ups took notice. They began questioning why someone with a marketing degree was being tasked with reorganizing supply closets and tracking coffee consumption. My coworkers, who'd seen Karen's behavior firsthand, started dropping hints to HR. The final straw came when Karen invited her friend, yes, the one she wanted to replace me with, for a casual lunch in the office. One of my colleagues tipped me off, and I reported the incident to HR. Apparently, Karen had pulled similar stunts in the past. A week later, Karen was called into a meeting with HR. By the end of the day, she was reassigned to a different department. I heard through the grapevine that her tenure there didn't last long either. With Karen gone, I was finally able to get back to doing the work I loved. The VP of marketing even pulled me aside to commend me for handling the situation with creativity and grace. They not only restored me to my original role, but promoted me within 6 months. As for Karen's friend, she never got the job. Last I heard, she was still networking. Sometimes the best way to fight back is to play the long game. When people try to sabotage you, give them exactly what they ask for, just so thoroughly that it exposes the absurdity of their actions. And if your boss is a Karen, well, malicious compliance is the ultimate revenge.